What's going on? It's Jacob with a brand new YouTube video, and in this video, I have Vicente Luque versus Balal Muhammad 2. Interesting card. Don't like it though. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun to watch because fighting either way. But I'm not a big fan. So let's start with Kroom versus Alatang Haley, and Kroom is an underdog, which I have winning actually. He's 21-14 in his MMA career, and Alatang Haley is 14-8-2. And Haley's got bad volume, 2.75 significant strikes per minute in the UFC, 32% not takedown accuracy, which it's just not good. I don't think I need to tell you that. It's not great. But he does have better power, so if he does land a random puncher's chance, overhand or something, that will damage Kroom. That will hurt Kroom big time. Kroom, 6-inch height and 6.5-inch reach advantage. He's tricky, kind of a cunny fighter, He's awkward on the feet. He's durable. He's durable. Ground game advantage, but he can't get takedowns. 5% takedown accuracy. So if you can't get takedowns, your ground game does not matter. But I think Kroom does get this done by decision. And moving on to Estela Nunez versus Sam Hughes. And Nunez, 6-2, good striker, poor takedown defense, but against Sam Hughes, I don't think it matters. Sam Hughes is 1-4 in last 5 fights, lost last 3 of them. Has to get fight to the ground, but she's 0-3 on takedowns in the UFC. Estela Nunez, poor ground game, poor takedown defense. I already told you that. Both losses are submissions, so if she does get on the ground, getting choked out, she's probably gonna lose. But other than that, she's a great striker and should dominate Sam Hughes on the feet. Moving on to the Monkey King, Levitt versus Ogden. Levitt is 9-1 in his MMA career, and Ogden is 15-4 and making his UFC debut. Ogden's a well-rounded fighter, more paths to victory than Levitt. Better wrestler, better cardio, but can be submitted. Levitt, he's got bad striking, like really bad striking. He's a first round sub or bust, is what DFS by the numbers kind of laid that out, which I agree with. First round sub or bust, yeah, it's probably it, because he's got 0% takedown defense, 0-5 in the UFC. He can't strike, he can't get takedowns. The only way he gets a submission is if he gets taken down, then gets like a guillotine or a Kimura or something. He will not go for takedowns and get takedowns. So, that fight, I have Ogden winning. But I am probably just going to fade it in a lot of my fights, a lot of my DraftKings lineups. I'm not going to put that many DraftKings lineups this week, or lineups in general. I'm going to be focusing on the USFL, and I'm going to probably do a few basketball lineups since my home team, Minnesota friggin' Timberwolves, are in the playoffs for the first time in forever. But we're getting off topic here. Then we got the people's main event, Barnett versus Boudet. And Boudet is 9-1, and Barnett is 22-7. Barnett's a 5'9" heavyweight. You just don't see that. You don't see a 5'9" heavyweight. Way undersized for the division. Whole in game is his ground game. He's got good speed on the feet though. Like he can move, get inside, and go like that. He's got good speed on the feet. But other than that, not great. Boudet making his UFC debut. 7-inch height advantage. He's 6'4", and he's 5 years younger, and he's got the ground game advantage. His cardio is a question mark. I do have Boudet as one of the more important fighters that you have to have in your card or on your lineups. But I would still probably fade, or not fade, but I would not take him in all my lineups just because there are question marks there. But he's 9,000. He's not bad. I like him. Moving on to Garcia versus Ronson. I have Ronson winning. Ronson's been fighting for a while, but he hasn't fought in 2 years, so maybe some octagon rust, some ring rust. And he could win the fight late. I think he might get a third round finish. Garcia has cardio problems, 4 years younger. It's not 4 years, yeah, something like that. Very good wrestling, 7 takedowns in the last fight. So, Garcia could be a play on DraftKings because of the grappling advantage. 7 takedowns, that's 35 points right there. 35 points is good points. But you really do want 30 takedowns and a win. If he gets 10 takedowns but doesn't win and gets dominated everywhere else, that's like 65 points. That's not enough to be in your optimal lineup. So, but Garcia is relatively cheap. So is Ronson. I think they're like 8,300 and 8,100. So, you never know. That could be a good little value play there. I have Ronson winning, but I don't know if I'm not so set in stone. Then we got Close versus Jenkins, and Close is 11-2-1 in MMA, and Jenkins is 15-8. Jenkins has a 35% striking defense and a 25% takedown defense. He's just not UFC caliber. He's tough. Like, he can take a lot of volume. He can get hit a lot, but he does not have good block. The reason why he has to be tough is because he's like Rocky Balboa. He blocks with his face. Okay. His hands are always down, looking for the big overhands, looking for the shots. He probably is going to get outstruck here. I don't know. Close will not finish, but should dominate on ground and the feet, and that's why I have Close winning this fight. Pretty easily, probably a 30-27. And this is actually a rematch. You got Landsberg versus Kianzad. And Kianzad's 10 years younger. 10 years. 30 years old versus a 40-year-old fighter. Kianzad's 15-6 in MMA, and Landsberg is 10-5. Landsberg is hittable, last seen 2 years ago, and only landed one significant strike in a whole 15-minute fight. Last time Landsberg fought, one significant strike. Versus a 10-year younger, better striker, more volume. Kianzad will win this fight. 30-27, maybe even 30-26. And I just don't like this card. I don't like any of the lineups I've built. Now a heavyweight fight, but with 2 light heavyweight fighters. You have Clark versus Knight. And I'm staying away from this fight completely, not having any of them, but Knight is not UFC caliber, really. He's 38% striking defense through 5 fights. You do not see that. You do not see that. That low? It's not good. Low volume, but he does hit hard. So, he does have a puncher's chance. Versus Clark, he's 12-6. Fought better fighters. Takedowns alone should win Clark this fight. So I'm staying away, but I do think Clark wins. And moving on to Sabatini versus Laramie. I'm not so sure what's going to happen with the Lazaz and Lusa fight, or if Lusa's even fighting. So I didn't do anything for that, and I'm staying away from that fight in general. So moving on, I have Pat Sabatini versus Laramie. This is a DK target. I think Sabatini gets the job done. He's a relentless takedown. Takedown attempts relentless. If he doesn't get one, he'll go again. If he doesn't get that one, he goes again. If he doesn't get that one, he goes again until he gets his takedown. So I do like that in turn for DraftKings. He is a Division One college wrestler with a black belt in BJJ. 4-inch reach. Oh my god. 4-inch reach advantage. 5-0 in last 5 fights. And Laramie is 7 years younger. He's got the better striking, but he doesn't have any other like advantages or anything. Sabatini he might get this fight finished. Actually, I could see him finishing it on the ground, but I am not positive. So I just know Sabatini should win this fight. And now the closest to lock you can get: Bueno Silva versus Yanan. 12-4 for Yanan. Loses to bad fighters. She can't compete with Silva like at all in any department, whether it be wrestling, grappling, just fighting in general, cardio. No. Bueno Silva is this is a no take. She doesn't do takedowns, but she has a BJJ black belt, so I don't get it. She's dangerous on the ground once she gets there. She's 5 years older, but she's fought better competition. She's lost to Manon Fior and what's her name? I can't think of her other name, but she's only lost twice, and she's lost to very, very, very good fighters. So Bueno Silva, I do believe she's a little expensive, but she should win this fight. And you know what happened the last time I did this? He scored 100 points. Throwing my money down. Bueno Silva, I mean, not completely, not 100% owned, but she should win her fight. She should dominate. She should score 90, hopefully, which I think will be in the optimal because there's not going to be that many finishes on the card. Now we go to Beza versus Fialho. Close, competitive, but I have Beza winning the fight. Beza has got the speed, volume, and cardio advantage compared to Fialho. Competitive versus Michel Pereira, which is a very good fighter. He's got poor cardio, but he does have an 80-some% finish rate, and 70-some% of it comes by knockout. He's hittable. He's got low volume, but he hits super hard. So if Fialho does land cleanly and flushly, he should, or he could get the knockout. He not should. But Beza will win this fight, probably 29-28 across the board. Maybe even a split decision. It's going to be a fun fight. Now, the co-main event of the evening, we have Barajo versus, oh my gosh, Omar Gadzhiev, which they are both 5-0 in their last 5 fights. Omar Gadzhiev is 13-0, and Barajo is 10-1. They're both making their UFC debut. And Barajo has an 8-inch reach advantage. 8-inch. And he's got 2 wins on the Dana White Contender Series. And he's a good striker, Barajo. So, Omar Gadzhiev is, he's got takedowns and ground game advantage. He's good cardio, good fighter all around, good well-rounded fighter. This should be one of the best fights on the card. I have it as a DK target fight, but I do go with the underdog Barajo. Barely. Probably a split decision, but it will be fun to watch. Now our main event of the evening. I have Vicente Luque versus Belal Muhammad, numero dos. And Luque should win this fight. Luque, he should just easily win this fight. It won't be the first round like the last time, but it will be mid-rounds, second to third round. His takedown defense is solid. He gets takedowns. If he gets taken down, he could lose though. So he's got a BJJ black belt, and he looked great in his last fight for Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad looked great, but I do have him marked as an underdog, but he shouldn't win this fight. Vicente Luque, I'm gonna say by third round finish. And the only lineup I've built, I don't like it. I just don't like this card in general. Got Barajo, Boudet, Kroom, Garcia, Ogden, and Sabatini. I don't know. I don't like it. I hate everything about it. But that is it for for the card. And good luck, because I won't be winning nothing this week. See y'all in the next, I guess, thoughts and review on this card. Adios, pimps.